Hello everyone. Good morning. Today I have a very sensitive topic to talk about. Before I say it, I just want to say how I've been tossing and turning all night. I've been tossing and turning for a while now over this topic, and it's like the Lord has been pressing it on my heart. First, He wanted me to figure it out and make sure, that I knew. And then He wanted me to talk about it. Now, me and my flesh and what I wanted, the old me would have never talked about it. I'm going to just say that. Before Christ, I would have never. I'm very, very to myself, very closed, don't tell nobody, very private person. But now I'm in Christ, I'm a new creation, and He has called me to speak out on anything that He wants me to. I can't hold in what I go through. I can't hold in these things because this is my testimony, my story. This is not for me to just go through it and just have it for just me. I go through it also to help others. So I would like to say that. He's been having me think about it a lot, so much so that I've been tossing and turning, not being able to sleep. Today I woke up at 3 in the morning. I think it's probably like 9. Got out of bed at 8 because I stopped fighting, trying to go back to sleep because I wanted to talk about it maybe a year from now, later on. No, He wants it sooner. Okay, maybe a month. No, sooner. I said, okay, maybe like a few days from now, down the week. No. I said, okay, Lord, tossing and turning, I will make it today. No, not even just today. He wanted me to get up and make it right now. So that is how important this message is. That is why I'm telling you this. It's not something easy to say, but it's very sensitive. So warning, I don't want to trigger anybody, or if a little child is watching, watch with caution with the parent, if the parent says you can. I am a victim of sexual abuse, and as you can see, it's my first time even saying it out of my mouth. I have known but never acknowledged and said it out of my mouth. Forgive me, because I just want to be as real and raw and honest as I can possibly be. It did not only happen once or with one person. It was by 2 different people at 2 different ages, and one of them I've only told one person, and the other one a few people know about. Not that I've told out my own mouth. Well, one, but anyways, so one I knew about and I remember, and I think about it all the time because it comes to my mind, and I try to shake it off because nobody wants to think about bad memories, especially something like that. That one probably happened when I was like 10, more than once, but I do forgive them, and that is trauma that I knew I had, and the Lord has been bringing things to me so that I can get healing from it. So the other one is the one I'm going to talk about today, is when I was 3. So the reason I know this, and I'm not going to say names, and I'm not going to get deep into what happened, right? Somebody before they passed away told me in front of other people And they were like, oh, when I was in jail, and he was angry. I don't mean to say he, but they were angry, and they said they had gotten a letter about something happening, and he said it was either me or the other person, and he was like, no, I believe it was you though, like, I'm pretty sure it was you. And I'm like, me? Like, what are you talking about, right? Oh, excuse me. He's like, yeah, and he's telling me about it, but in my head, I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, I don't remember this, and I'm trying to remember, and it's not, nothing is clicking. Nothing's clicking. I'm like, okay. And now, from when he told me to now, years. That has been a few years, but now, in the past few months, the Lord has been pressing it on my heart, and I keep thinking about what they said. I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, I need to ask this other person, I need to ask them, did this happen? So when I finally asked them, they said, yes, this happened, this is who, this is what, this is where, this is when, everything, they told me everything that happened. While they're telling me, I know that it is not a lie and truth. One, because the Lord kept pressing it on my heart, wanting me to find out. And two, because everything was clicking. Everything in my life that was questionable, that was confusion, that I didn't have the answers to, everything started clicking and making sense. Now, at that age, I only had a few people who believed me. And I don't know if it was me or the person who spoke up for me. Maybe they didn't want to believe them. But I'm telling you that it happened to me. And I pray that the Lord would soften your heart and that you would think of me or your child. We are different people than we were back then, right? So I pray that you would hear this and know and believe me that it did happen. And I'm not gonna name names. But many people didn't believe me. But I'm thankful for the ones that did, the ones that stuck up for me when I didn't have a voice. And today, that is why I'm here, to take back what they stole from me. And that's starting with my voice, because this is my story. And I get to tell it when and where I want. I would like to point out how good God is, though, right? Because I know, and I want to speak to other people who have been a victim of sexual assault. The Lord is good. He has been there. He has never took his hand off you, especially if you're a child of God, if you are his child. He said he would never leave you nor forsake you. He was there. He was holding your hand. He was embracing you and giving you peace, love, and joy. He was wiping every tear away. He was there, okay, when no one else was. He was there to pick up the pieces. And he was so good. And I don't wish bad on anyone. But I want to tell this because this is part of the testimony for you other victims. the Lord fights for us. We don't have to take matters into our own hands. We give it to him and he fights for us, okay? So a year or so after, because I was going to therapy for that when I was 3. I was going to therapy afterwards, and a little after that, found out, I didn't find out because I was too young. The person found out who told me and who found me and spoke up for me, found out that he got jumped to the point where he was in the hospital. Is how bad they beat him. And I don't wish bad on anyone, but I know that was the Lord fighting for me, and that happened to him because of what he did to me. And shortly after, he passed away. So I encourage you and I uplift you, even if it doesn't happen in this lifetime. Just know that the same way we're going to face God face to face, they are going to face God face to face. And if they didn't, which I believe they will, get punishment in this life, they have to stand before him and take accountability for all of their actions, and they have to face whatever consequence comes, because there are consequences for every action we do. I'm speaking for all of us, but just know that it hasn't been swept under the rug. He's been there, he saw it, and he is still with you. I want to encourage everyone to speak out, speak up, tell your story. Don't let people silence your voice. Don't let them take that from you. Speak up. Don't be afraid. Tell your story and help others, because you're not the only one who went through it. Sadly, there's many out there who has gone through similar things as you, and they need to hear that you have overcome it, that you can overcome it. You understand? They need to hear that they weren't alone. They're not the only one facing those problems. They need to know how good God is and how he can take you out of that. You understand? Please, I pray that you would tell it, no matter, don't care about family, friends, or whoever it was. If you don't want to tell their names like I did, don't. But speak up and say what happened, okay? Please.